every fucking month if I have to. It's not a problem. I'm in here grinding. If you watch my social media, you will see exactly why I look like this. But hey, it is what it is, man. I just wanted to get that out there, you know?
You're on their radar now. That's what happens. Now you're in the UFC. People have to find something to hate. So it's pretty wild. So we're all watching the UFC Vegas 9 broadcast on Saturday because we knew as soon as you got the finish over Cody Brundage that you were getting the full-on treatment here and getting into the octagon for your next fight. And we're watching the card on Saturday, and we get this announcement that William Knight's going to fight Alexa Kamer at UFC 253 on September 26th. When did this start coming together, William? Like, you just fought on Tuesday. When were you offered the fight, signed the contract, etc.?
Bro, I've been wanting to fight that dude since he fought
I know.
Fabio. He said some disrespectful thing in the camera about 205ers, like anybody in the 205 division can get it and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I just won my debut for my Contender Series fight, and then he said what he said, or I think it was vice versa, whichever way. But I swear to God, the way he was looking in the camera, he was looking right at me when he said that. Every single day I kept telling my coach, when, not if, when I make it to the UFC, once we get this contract, it was never if. It was once we get this contract, I want him as my first fight. I am grateful to God. Like, I'm so grateful and just humbled that I got him as my debut fight. He already debuted, but this dude is 6-0. I don't care about no record because if you can see, all the people who are undefeated, I gave them their first loss. I don't care about no wins and loses because you can have a 10-0 record and you could put those 10 fighters, no disrespect, you could put those 10 fighters together and you'll probably have two and a half decent fighters. Like, people don't understand. People stack their record to build that confidence. I already have my confidence. I got my confidence from early stages of life. So when I got him, when my manager hit me up, where was I? I didn't even make it home yet. I didn't even land. Actually didn't even land. The second I landed, the text came through the phone, call me as soon as possible. And it was like, boom, how'd you feel fighting this guy in 3 weeks? At first I was like, I don't feel like fighting in 3 weeks, man. My elbow's a little sore. And all that ran through my mind was the weight cut and not being able to eat all my foods I like. Food? Number one, people, I know you guys can agree with me here. Food is the devil. Food is the devil. Nobody told food to taste this good. I don't respect food that tastes good and it's not good for you. That sucks. But back to what I was thinking, I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to eat my junk food. I'm looking like, yo, I got food I want to eat, things I want to do, family events I want to go to. Then he told me the name. I swear to God, my whole demeanor changed. I was like, yo, I'm ready now. Let's go now. I'm ready now. Wait, when is the fight? I'm ready. Let's go. Dude, I'm ready right now. I'm in Iron Will right now. I'm literally in Iron Will Fitness right now. Like, people look, I'm in here right now. I'm in the gym now. I just finished doing a crazy session in here, man. I woke up 6 o'clock this morning, came inside of here in this facility, and I came and put in work, man. I'm ready, bro. Like, yo, I'm 217 right now. I can make 205 today. I'm ready right now. That's how happy I am about this fight, and I guarantee you I won't let the people down.
What'd you think? First fight, I mean, not only do you get the guy you want, but you get to do something that you told me you wanted to do before. You wanted to travel the world and see new places, and now you're going to see freaking Abu Dhabi in your first fight, too. Like, what do you think about that?
Dude, the fact that I'm going to Fight Island and I'm fighting on the Sanya card is freaking ecstatic, bro. Like, it's ecstatic. Like, I can't explain it. But it's just... Imagine you getting off this interview right now, and then your phone goes off, and then you look at it, and it's a PayPal for $1 million. That's the feeling I got right now.
Wow, I hope I get that feeling.
That's the feeling I have right now. I'm so happy, man. I'm like, what? $1 for what? who's this generous? Like, you blessed me with my opponent. You blessed me with the UFC contract. You blessed me with the debut in Fight Island that everyone's talking about. You blessed me to be among the savages of savages, and you blessed me with a highlight. This card means more to me than what people think. Not only do I make my debut, this day is also the day they crown a new light heavyweight champion. Bro, that's full circle to me.
Middleweight.
All that's gonna do is ignite a flame in me and make me grind even harder, which creating a more dangerous version of me. So I'm grateful. This card is perfection. Like, people say perfection doesn't exist. To me, this is perfection.
Yeah, I mean, you get Adesanya versus Costa at the top, and then you get Reyes versus Blachowicz, like you talked about. I know you don't like to make predictions on your fights, but do you have any predictions for those fights?
Dude, Reyes is in a confidence on his mind where he feels he's the most elite striker in the world, and I feel that might be a downfall because you got a savage who's more hungry than him. So this guy that's coming in, like, you got to realize he didn't get a title shot. This is his title shot. You had a title shot. You fought John Jones. That's a confidence booster, don't get me wrong. But people got to understand, you can be a lion and get wiped out by a hyena. You can't have that confidence like I'm the king, as if you can't be touched, because the second you get comfortable, I swear to God, the second you get comfortable in your mind is when you start to become, you start to beat yourself. People don't realize a confidence can be a strength and a weakness.
Do you think Blachowicz is going to win?
I believe he's gonna win with a deadly ass knockout, bro.
Wow.
It's gonna be a savage knockout. I haven't been wrong yet. I told people Aldo was gonna get knocked out by McGregor in the first 30 seconds of the fight because how his hand was shaking at weigh-ins. I'm like, he's gonna come in with a wild right and Connor's gonna counter him. I'm like, he's a counter fighter. Like, his hand was shaking. I'm like, dude, no, don't let him get his mind like that. What happened? Boom, 7 seconds.
Craziness. Do you have an official prediction this time because of what's at stake and how much you want this fight? Is there an actual prediction here?
The savage in me that I'm gonna let out is saying first round TKO KO. Like, I'm telling you, it's not gonna last 5 minutes. It's not. I will not allow it. I won't. I already told my coach, yo, hit me when it's the 3-minute warning. Then you're gonna get everything you would have thought in 15 minutes in 3 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. That's all I need. I'm not playing games. This ain't no cockiness. This is me saying that that's how much I don't like what that kid said. I think his last fight or the Contender Series, man, just the fact that we put our heart into it and he just comes in with this cocky ass confidence, like, yo, it just rubbed me the wrong way. The way he was looking at camera, everything. It's not I don't dislike him. I just don't like how he went about it.
Fair enough. It's kind of surprising because I've spoken with him a couple of times and he's a very respectful guy. So it's interesting. Hey, listen, I love it. I love storylines. It makes things bigger for me, makes things bigger for the viewer, makes things bigger for you, him as well. And I'm looking forward to this fight. Congratulations on everything, man. What a crazy week. What's that?
Yeah, maybe I'm taking the personal, but I'm in that 205 division, so.
You got to. You got a chip on your shoulder. You can always get to try to find one of those whenever you can get it. So, Wade, congrats on everything, man. Looking forward to September 26th. All the best to you in training and safe travels to Abu Dhabi, man. A fired up William Knight is opening up a little bit more. I like that. Big thanks to him as he prepares to make his UFC debut against Alexa Kamer in a little over 2 weeks' time in Abu Dhabi. Mackenzie Dern is looking to keep her momentum going after a history-making submission win over Hannah Cifers in her last fight on May 30th. She takes on Randa Marcos next weekend in Las Vegas. Here's my chat with one of the top prospects at 115 pounds, Mackenzie Dern. All right, we have Mackenzie Dern joining us. She returns to action next Saturday night, September 19th, taking on Randa Marcos. Mackenzie, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Absolutely. The fight is a little over a week away. As most people know by now, you are a a mom as well as a fighter. How have you been, I guess, navigating this crazy time in the world, this pandemic, from not only being a professional athlete and a professional fighter, but also from a parent's perspective as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's like crazy because this is my third fight since my daughter has been born. So every fight, like, it's crazy that it's like I'm getting more organized, our life and things, but it's like every phase of her life, it's like new, I guess not obstacle, like new obstacles, So now she's walking and running around. So it was good, like when she just kind of stayed still. Now I'm like training and kind of having to watch her, and now she's doing like some gymnastics and swimming. So the days a little bit more, then I'm kind of like missing the days that she just like, kind of slept and that's it, So we're just adapting and everything. So it's good, I'm having fun. Definitely, I think this phase is awesome. She's gonna go to my fight. It's the first time she's gonna go to my fight since the whole corona thing happened. But it's crazy, like we want to take her to the playground, but then now I'm like, okay, baby, I don't want to get I don't want to get tested positive, So I'm kind of like having to hold her back a little bit the last couple weeks just to make sure the first fight, right, is to not get tested positive for corona is okay, and then focus the weight cut, and then focus on fighting Randa.
I have a 7-year-old, so it's crazy to go from like baby stage and then just see them slowly evolving to like little people. Like even as babies, I mean, they're little people, but now they're walking and talking, you're conversing with them. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, now she's starting to get like the molars, the big teeth coming in, so she's like trying to bite all the time. I'm like, it's crazy.
So we saw you compete back in May. You took on Hannah Cyphers and you made some history with the first leg lock submission in women's UFC history. And you were coming off your first career loss. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, I don't think there's a better way to kind of come back from a loss, and like before the fight, Dana, he was in there, like kind of like not before the fight, but the day before after the weigh-ins, he's kind of giving a pep talk to all the athletes, and just saying like, man, we're the first sport back on TV, happening, So it's like, man, okay, so even though there's no crowd, it's like, man, it's almost better than like pay-per-view and all these things. Just everyone's watching, It's like tons of people are watching this. So I couldn't be happier to be a submission. I think another girl, Ariane Lipsky, she got a leg lock maybe 3-4 weeks later, So like I barely made it, So I'm really happy that to come off a loss and kind of to have everyone watching right now, because everyone was at home, obviously. Now things are starting to kind of go back to normal. And be like a leg lock. I'm a jiu-jitsu girl, So it was really good to be able to come back from the loss like that. Like, okay, I'm still in it, guys. I'm still in it. Like, let's go,
Was it kind of a different approach going into a fight coming off a loss? Like, and you've competed in the jiu-jitsu world for such a long time. It's not like you've never lost before in competition, but, in the MMA space, was there more motivation this time around, or did you kind of treat it as just another night in the octagon for you?
I felt a little bit more pressure, and definitely more pressure than jiu-jitsu. I felt like, I like seeing people, because it's not like, oh, I'm going around looking like people are like tagging you, and like people say like mean things and they tag you and you know what I mean? And you're like, man. And people are just saying like, oh, if she doesn't win this, then she's really, never coming back, and so it was kind of a lot of pressure, and just, I was kind of like at the end of my contract with the UFC, so I really wanted to get a good impression, and I think was kind of like a personal thing too, like, okay, I came back early, 4 months. For me, I didn't feel like it was early, but a lot of people thought that it was early. So I really just wanted to show, like, even though maybe I had that loss, and even if I was to lose to Hannah, I still felt I was meant to be there, So I really was just kind of feeling some pressure, like at least to do a good fight. And of course I wanted to win, So the leg lock was just extra, So I definitely felt a lot more pressure though than jiu-jitsu. I think just the fans and media and even the UFC, it's a hard world, like just cut, the fans are like, okay, you don't have it anymore. And you're like, man, that fast.
Yeah, because so you have a new contract now? That was your last fight? So now you get a new one.
Yeah, it was actually like, this was with Ronda was the last one, would be my last one. But after my last fight, we renegotiated for a new contract. So now I got some more fights in, so I'm excited.
There you go. Congratulations on that. I assume you're happy with how this all played out?
Definitely. I think that the leg lock, was a great way for me to be able to negotiate better. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with how it worked out, and I'm excited for the new things that we're gonna do with the UFC.
Good for you. So that fight took place in May. It was, like you said, it was the first Apex show during this crazy time in the world. And that was around 4 or so months ago. And I know you wanted to turn things around very, very quickly. Still, in any era, this is not a long layoff by any stretch of the imagination. But Hannah's fought twice since then, which is crazy. Are you happy with, like, the length of time between fights, or are you hoping to get back in there a little sooner?
It's like, I was wanting to get back sooner. It's funny, actually, like my post-fight interview, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good, and just all that adrenaline and all these things. Of course, even if I winning or losing, I want to try and fight again this year too. I've always been used to fighting like 3 or 4 times a year. So, and being off the pregnancy was a long time. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to fight, And then they call me like, hey, do you want to fight Ronda in 2 weeks? I'm like, oh, no, wait, let me think about that, let me train for this, and I was sore, Hannah got some good on the clinch work, I don't know if it was elbows or knees or something, I was sore, so like, no, okay, maybe not that soon, so maybe I started wanting to get back too early, and now, and then I'm like, no, give me like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then they end up pushing it more and more. And man, now I couldn't be happier. I think it was good, and I think I'm a little bit too anxious all the time. And I think it was really good because now I just feel like I was able to train so much more. And, I got my camp kind of was a little bit mixed up, and now it's a little bit more organized now. So I think everything ended up working out for the best, and I'm able to fight. Randa's a tough girl, she's not just a girl I'm going to say like, hey, let me fight in 2 weeks, she's a tough girl, and I definitely want to use this to show a lot of improvements and stuff like that. And with 4 months, man, I improved so much, especially with the coronavirus happening, just in the gym, and doing my best.
So when they offered you the fight for like a 2-week notice, I guarantee you that, especially knowing you were probably like, yeah, let's do it. And then you had to like slow down a little bit and maybe talk to your manager, the great Daniel Rubenstein, and then he probably put you in a place. Is that kind of accurate of how it went down?
Exactly. And I'm like, Daniel, and then I'm seeing like Hannah. I'm like, but Hannah fought again. Because after I said the no to the 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, but in 4 weeks I can, And like, no, let's go calm, And I'm like, but Hannah's fighting, and I'm seeing all these girls fight, and I'm just like, man, I like, you see everyone fighting, you want to be there. And I'm saying like, what about Fight Island? What about this, And then he's like, explain to me, no, Vegas, it's good, we're not fighting 3 a.m., it's close to the house, not 15-hour flight. I'm like, yeah, that's true, And now I'm so happy because my husband's going to go, my dogs are going to go to this fight. Moa's going, and it's better, I won in the Apex, so I definitely am happy to be back there, the same energy. I really liked it. And yeah, I'm definitely, that's why the managers are there, to help take care of the athletes.
So, things got shuffled around a little bit. Like UFC 253 was supposed to be September 19th, and then it got moved to the 26th, and then it got moved from Vegas to Abu Dhabi. Was there any talk about moving your fight with Randa to Fight Island at all, or was it always Vegas on the 19th and there was no other discussions?
For me, they always said was Vegas, I even talked to Danny and said, man, are they going to move ours? Because I think that's a great card, definitely would like to be on the Borrachia and Azedenia card, it would be awesome to see that fight live and everything. I'm so excited. So I was really excited for them to be the main event. But then when he said, no, they pushed that one and yours is going to stay here, I said, okay, that's fine, But from the beginning, they always said it was just going to be Vegas.
Well, you still get Colby and Tyron Woodley. That's a crazy fight too, right?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Tyron for sure.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Tyron Woodley fans next Saturday, if we're being honest. But before that happens, you're going to fight Randa Markos. She's been around for a long time. She's had a weird career where she's flip-flopped wins and losses pretty much the whole way. But she gets in these kinds of fights with the Gedalias and the Angela Hills and the Marina Rodriguez's of the world where people feel that she's going to get steamrolled, and somehow she comes through. How has the preparation been in lieu of this fight with somebody like Randa? Because I'm sure compared to most of your opponents, Randa's a little bit more of a puzzle than you probably had to put together in the past. Is that kind of how you're looking at this?
I I mean, I think definitely she's the most experienced, and I think she's gonna be the most, I guess, like, not scared fighter. You know, I think all the girls that fought me, I've always felt like I kind of respect. Not that Randa doesn't respect me. No, I think for sure she'll respect me, but you know, I just think she's seen it all. She's seen everything. You know, she's been, like you said, she's been like up and down the ring. She's been from the UFC, the house. You know, when they started the strawweight division. So man, she's been. There's nothing that's really gonna scare her or anything like that about my name or about my jiu-jitsu background or anything like that. So definitely coming into this fight is just kind of being prepared to show her like, hey, I'm not scared either, you know, and I'm here to fight. And I know she's been up, but I haven't been up in the rings yet, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely hungry for this. I don't know how much she's hungry for, you know, for these wins and everything like that. I think for sure she loves to fight because she always puts on a show. But I definitely think she's had a long career, and maybe, you know what I mean? I don't know how much steam she has, like, to keep pushing forward and to have the motivation to just keep winning and winning and winning all the time. You know, it's kind of like, okay, win one and lose one, win one and lose one, and maybe can be kind of tiring to do that. And I'm just like going up right now.
Yeah, because I mean, compared to the Hannah fight, like with Hannah, you just knew like, all right, she's gonna stand up, but if this fight goes to the ground at all, like it's a wrap. And that's exactly what happened. But with Randa, it's kind of like you don't know what the heck she's gonna do, right? Like
I
she
know.
could do anything. She could take you down.
Yeah, I definitely. I know she's like a grappler, you know, like in the MMA world, you know. So I don't know if she's gonna want to grapple. I don't know if she's gonna. I think she's gonna want to like go the 3 rounds. For a lot of her fights, I've seen her. She goes the whole 3 rounds. She has like a good gas tank, like you know, always throwing out those punches. Kind of a weird style, like a little bit crossing her legs and throwing out some jabs. She knows her distance really good. Like I said, she's so experienced. Those are like things I'm learning to do now, you know. It's like find my distance and learn my range and how to, you know, see everything. So it's definitely going to be a great fight, I think, to see where I'm placed amongst all the girls, you know.
Well, you're working with the right person to learn about range and distance, and that is with one Jason Perillo. There's always changes made between every fight, but I did watch your interview with a good friend of mine in the industry, James Lynch, and you know, you told him that you moved and started working with Jason, who obviously it's a perfect guy to work with in the striking game. But for those who don't know, and I know you've talked about this before, I mean, you have a great relationship with the team over at Black House, but the striking coach over there and your husband got into a fight. Like, did I hear that right? Like, what happened there, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I mean, Black House, man, they always have the academy open for me. All the guys, man, even just like I've been 2 weeks with Jason, I'm like already missing the guys. Like, man, I miss like from the amateurs to the pros, you know, just everyone's so hungry to win and help me out so much. So I'm definitely always going back there to visit them and say hi and train and do sparring sometimes. But yeah, just my ex-coach, Juan Gomez, I don't know what happened that he called us to go to the academy to talk. You know, I think he wasn't happy with bonus and stuff like that, like money-wise, for my last fight. And basically, I always like ask my coaches, like, hey, during camp, if you have anything, just talk to my husband, you know. Obviously, at home, me and him talk about everything, you know, so we're the same person, you know, basically. But when I'm in camp, I don't want to have to think about it, you know. I don't want to think about money or, you know, coaches or anything like that. Just let's just talk about training. So my husband talks to him, and my husband's like this surfer guy, you know, totally, you know, good vibes, you know, afro, you know, definitely not the fighter style. And he went to go talk to him, and he just like, no, if you want to come to the academy, come to the academy and we'll talk, and hung up. And we went to the academy and just like swept dirt onto my husband, pushed him, and then obviously my husband pushed him back, and then they just went into a fist fight. And I'm just like, yeah. And it wasn't like a brawl, you know, crazy brawl. It was like a street fighter, technical fist fight, you know. They're like back and forth. My husband's like doing like feints, you know, and I'm like, man, where's he learning all this, you know? It was so crazy. And my dad is there, so because we were gonna have training, so they were like teachers and students, like other training partners, and I think they both kind of thought that they were gonna like separate this fight, and everyone's just kind of like, hey, one-on-one, like let you go, you know. My dad's there like trying to coach his son-in-law, you know. It's like, okay, turn to your right, you're doing good, you know. And they're like, boom, you know, fighting, and my husband did so good. And like, man, as soon as I saw that, like, man, my coach attacked my husband, like that just finished for us, you know. I can't I love like Black House and everything they done for him, but like with that coach, I can't work with that. You know what I mean? It's like to attack, no matter how much, I don't know if you're mad about it because your bonus wasn't high enough or whatever, you know, like you just can't attack someone, especially when my husband's so humble and like with water and keys in the hand, like, hey, can we have that talk that you asked me to do? You know, it's like, man, I don't know what happened. So until today, we don't know exactly what pushed to that level. But yeah, like I said, it was about 2 weeks ago. So even though it's a camp, like, man, I just feel so much at a better place. Like Coach Pat from the Ruka gym, Pat, they just open their arms to me and accept me. And I just feel like in 2 weeks, I've gotten so much better too, you know? So it's like a blessing in disguise.
That is one of the most wild stories I've ever heard. That is so crazy. I assume...
I wonder if that's happened more, but people just don't talk about it, but it's like, man, we did nothing wrong, so we have nothing to worry about, It's like, man, there's nothing to hide. It's just, I'm almost like, man, I can't believe my surfer husband had to like go through this, I felt bad for him, I'm sorry, baby, they had to go through this, but he's like, no, I love you, baby, I'll do everything for our family, and that's just like, oh, I love you so much.
Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable. So I assume the rest of the coaches at Black House understood your decision to leave. They're probably like, yeah, we get it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, from what I heard, I don't think he's able to coach at Black House anymore. I think he does his own thing. But yeah, like we said, he learned from Black House. He always says like, man, the doors are always open for you. And so I'm just because it's getting close to my fight, I'm just focused on my training at Ruka. But I definitely after the fight, I'm gonna like go and visit them and everything like that. But just want distance from my ex-coach. Don't want to be involved in anything like that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes a change in location leads to like a change in perspective mentally too, like things you didn't know before or things that you may have been taught may now be presented to you in a different way where it opens up and you're like, oh yeah, that's what you meant by that. Like you can learn a lot as you're going through right now in a short amount of time. Is this just been a huge eye opener for you working with guys like Jason and these coaches?
Oh my gosh, so much. You have no idea. It's like, it's just crazy how much information, how much, like open eyes, it's a different style, totally different style of coaching, of me learning and everything, different energy. So it's just kind of like, wow, really opened my eyes up to like different things that maybe I wasn't seeing that I was doing wrong, and like things that now little details that he gave me that like just helped my striking so much more, like I feel way more balanced and way more, I guess not throwing so much, like leaning into my punches, I'm way more like set foot. And like just today we're training, there's like Luke Rockhold and Cheeto Bear and Scott Eastwood, and just all these guys, Alan goes, there are all these people at the training, and we're just all exchanging information and having fun, and Coach, Perilla's there just helping me prepare. Tomorrow's my last sparring day, so he like helped push me, and it's just a good energy. I'm really opened my eyes to so many more things now.
This is an interesting revelation because for anybody looking at this fight on paper, most people see it as if you get it to the mat, just a matter of time. But Randa has that savvy, she's got that grit, and she's pretty darn good on the ground herself. But do you feel because Randa has that name and is tough on the mat, that there could be a lot of striking here? Like, maybe you surprise some people and knock somebody out on next Saturday night. Is that what you're thinking? That this could be a lot of punching and kicking here?
Definitely. I mean, I definitely don't want to take too many chances standing up. Even if I'm feeling great standing up, you just need to hit the spot and that could finish the fight. I definitely feel 100% more comfortable on the ground, but I definitely see a knockout could be possible, because what's more surprising than a jiu-jitsu girl like knocking out, like all of a sudden got that power and has like the right technique and just everything hits the right spot. So it definitely can be a big surprise, I think, to people if I'm able to knock out the fight, and I think it's definitely a big possibility. And I know that Randa is gonna come to try and finish me too. So it could. I don't know if she want to go to the ground. So hey, I'm training so much my wrestling. I'm trying really to get my takedowns way better. But if she just keeps defending, I'm not scared to be standing up either, and definitely will be dangerous for sure.
Do you feel either way that people are going to be like, wow, Mackenzie Dern's stand-up has gotten so much better?
100%. I definitely think people are gonna see that. Like, from my fight, like with Amanda Ribas, where I'm kind of like, a little bit, I don't know, not like getting punched to the face, and I think people who watch that fight will kind of just see Mackenzie kind of like, not going forward and not too much confidence to like now. They're going to see the striking a totally different. And I think they saw a little, I mean, it wasn't a lot in the Hannah Cyphers, we didn't have that much striking, but I think, at least from what Bisping and DC was saying, like, oh yeah, she has some sharp hands, I think now it's going to be even more, like, easy for people to see, like, oh yeah, she's getting really better too, so hopefully people will start to see me like all around fighter and think like, man, I want to get like 5 stars on the UFC game and everything like that. So
So you're in the top 15 now, like you mentioned. Where do you think a win over someone like Randa Marcos, especially if you could put her away, where does that put you in this division?
Oh, I don't know, because until today I don't understand like 100% the rankings, so I don't know like what exactly they look at, like the person you're fighting or how you finish and stuff like that. I don't know exactly their criteria, but man, if it puts me like to top 10, hey, that's awesome, or at least puts me in the spot to fight someone in the top 10, then I'm happy, So I think definitely if I get a knockout or submission, they'll I hope that they'll think like, okay, she's coming, she's just coming up and she's like I said, going up like this. So we'll see.
Well, you're not alone. I don't think a lot of people understand the rankings, so I think we're in the same boat here. You mentioned Amanda Ribas. She's obviously been making a lot of noise these days, and from all indications, it looks like she's very close to putting pen to paper to fight Carla Esparza in December. What have you made of her quick rise? Because I'm sure at some point, you'd like to get that one back down the road.
I mean, I don't know. I think that she's doing her fights and she's on a good run. She's undefeated in the UFC. So that's the momentum you need. It's just to keep going. I don't know if she's 4 or 5 fights, I think, without losing, but I know I'm trying to get my victories back going, and we'll see if we meet each other one day for the belt again, if something like that. Definitely, I know she's a tough girl. She's gonna give a lot of problems to a lot of the girls in the division. And man, there's nowhere to run. You have Tatiana Suarez, who's undefeated. We have so many tough girls. So definitely, I think as we start climbing the ranks, we're gonna start to see harder and harder fights, harder matchups. But yeah, I mean, I think Paige Van Zandt too. She went off to the bare knuckle. She did whatever was good for her. Her thing. So I'm excited to see what comes for Paige, what comes for Amanda, what comes for Carla. And definitely what comes for me. So we'll see. I'm excited, and I think that she's doing good.
I'm not going to ask you about the weight cut per se, because I think you've answered those questions. But I know for a fact, listen, I can tell by looking at you that you're in a good place right now. But I can assure you're going to get a million questions about the weight cut on fight week. It just is what it is. Is this just frustrating for you at this point? Because you made it your last 2 fights. You looked in pretty good spirits for both of those. Can we just declare for all to see right now, to all of my fellow colleagues and media members, can you just say, don't ask me about the damn weight cut. I'm good. I'm going to make it. Don't worry about it.